back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. From the kitchen, we continue talking about the wonderful woman we need to celebrate and highlight today. And this woman, we've been honing in on women's health in particular, be it physical or mental. Now, this morning, we touch on postpartum depression in relation to sports in particular. Now, someone who can speak from first-hand experience is runner and award-winning communications specialist, Marisa Calvert. Now, from mental health benefits to physical well-being, we'll explore how staying active can really support recovery and also empower women on their journey to healing, which we want for all women, Marisa. And thank you so much for being here on our couch.
Thank you.
You got the memo with the green. You know,
Yes.
there's a theme of green going on.
I had a dream.
Oh, I had a dream. And I want to know more about this dream and your dreams because they came to reality. And I know you're going to inspire so many women that are sitting at home right now, men too. But let's talk about postpartum depression, something that many women post-pregnancy do face. I do want to get into, can you elaborate on how this can occur, when this happens, what it looks like perhaps?
So it presents itself differently in every woman. So postpartum depression, or PPD as we call it, it's a little bit more than just baby blues. So baby blues would last about 2 weeks, whereas postpartum depression actually lasts much longer, up to 12 months post-pregnancy. And it usually means that you need to go for therapy, you need some medication. Some of it can be very, very severe, but it all starts with the mind and what starts transpiring in your mind during those late nights, sleep deprivation, your hormone imbalances. So personally, I had a moment where I wanted to throw my son against a wall.
Wow.
He was about a few weeks old, but it is where it settles and you're like, get that reality check.
Right.
And at that time, I had no inclination of any kind of movement, any kind of form of exercise. I'm naturally skinny, so I was like, I don't need to.
Right.
But 2 years after he was born, I started running.
Wow.
And that actually came from a friend of mine who had passed away. Never got to meet my son because the day he was meeting my son, he passed away. And a few weeks before that, I had gone into a very dark place and I couldn't see people.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I was going to ask you about how this impacts your daily life, but I mean, I feel like you've touched on it when you're kind of closing yourself off from those that love you and want to pour into you, and you think that this is your world now. But I can imagine it gets really tough. I mean, that alarming moment of you having that intrusive thought and going, wait a minute, something is off here. I mean, did you reach out for help?
So in our community, it's not common to speak about any form of mental health, you know, especially PPD, because it's such a, it's very common but uncommon. As a mom, you are exposed to social media, to the perfect motherhood, to the most beautiful nurseries, and that's all you know. Your feed is telling all of that. And when in reality, like, I didn't have a nursery for either of my kids. They sleep with me in the bed. I'm 41 now, so I don't really care anymore what people say. But at the time, there's so much pressure on you to be perfect, when in reality, you're actually not that perfect. And it's okay. It's okay. And to talk about it and to experience that with other moms, that community is so vital, especially for new moms. Because dads, they get it too. They just never speak about it. But it is such a thing where people shouldn't frown upon it, because it is a reality for many, many new moms, and they just don't know how to communicate.
Exactly. And sometimes it is just something you have to verbalize to realize, girl, you're not alone. Like, we're in this together.
Yeah, and you need a listening ear, because somebody that can actually say, you know what, this is what is wrong. And I always look at the healthcare, and I think you see your OBGYN the day you give birth, maybe a few days after, and then 6 weeks later, whereas the pediatrician you see almost every other week with your baby. And if they can do that PPD and even postpartum anxiety sort of scans with the mom, it already helps a lot.
Right. Let's get into the healthcare system and attack it heads on. I love that. Let's talk about your own remedies, because you said didn't get moving until a while later, and when you did, it changed your life. And the milestones you hit, 5 months pregnant, out there running a marathon. Talk to me more about that, Marisa.
Yeah, so I started running 2 years after my son was born. It was also just a way of coping. and my partner thinks it's a cult now. But
If you're not in it, you always think
know?
that though, yeah.
So, and when I fell pregnant with my second born, or my last born now, definitely going to be last, she's 18 months now.
Wow.
I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, but I'm training for a marathon, and I'm still going to continue. My doctor said, listen, you are fit, you can continue.
Sheesh.
I did not experience the darkness I experienced with my son while pregnant with my daughter. And the only thing that got me through that 6 weeks after birth was I'm going to go run after 6 weeks. It was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start walking, I'm going to run, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it was such a light for me because that was the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
And I started, as soon as I started running, I got a coach, and I'm like, I want to break all barriers when it comes to postpartum. And it kept my mind going. I can compartmentalize so much.
Yes.
And an hour outside is all I need. I literally live for vitamin D at the moment.
Oh my God, I'm here for it. And you know what's so special? It's not even about the running in particular, but it is about the mental health benefits that allowed you to drop into your body and realize it's not all here in your mind, okay?
Yeah.
Marisa, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much.
Like I said, I knew it. She was going to inspire so many people sitting on their couch right now, maybe even to head outside and get their own dose of vitamin D. And I hope you do exactly that.